Kwasiada enwumre yema munyina adwo amamo kwaba nukuri ni ye nije na ye yemfe se kwasiada enwumre bia mo gibre na mo hwe adi yemre dwumadi e wo home base tv iko nyankopon inshira mo papa na ukocho ba kudidia de obeseve wo no hoda na se ya kai se obi na wo kitchen fa ono aduane no tubeka me ho ne de aseda kese enso ama adofo a ekeka won sase eyi ntoboa kakran omoboa se de be bitmenya airtime na kwasiada nwumre bia na yetime de adi yemre aba wakwan so wonso obetimi donate e de support program no nti prepare no me de number betu dwa se de be ya wonso so se ka wakoma kakra e wo dofo nsem e no de ma na wa donate de support program no eno achi no so beka me ho ne de aseda kese ama crew no nyina yeko nyankopon hira mo papa obiti se enunyam sika woni ha enso produce from afar enunyam yeko nyankopon hira ete won kan so ache Mr. Free ene Martina yeko nyankopon hira mo papa sabe oba kokum so no mama nsan twa bidie mo da roma ene yenya kwanya etise ye yeko nyankopon hira mo papa we ene yesan aba beto aso na ene topic no ya to din se Trump grace period mi ti bi se etwetwe aso Donald Trump de na mane e wadi yemre mu e bi program bu di ntia ye boni din mi fa kwenye na ye nuan mo hwe yo RTV ya salute mu me ama mo so mo akaba de abadwumadi so ye bo nyankopon Instagram papa na nyamenko e na me wa ha evangelist the researcher Joseph Ananes or evangelist mo adwo mo akaba
yeah
mimi di dada no asuafo de hye Kofi Kakari na ene topic no kwa hwe bia nka be ha me papa tie me de se ene wo hwe bie na se yen kaka ya adwene kakra na wo twetwa mu no dwumadi de ba wakwan so na ye fourth angels message part 2 no eno na ye hwe no na wo twa itwa mu no na se wo be kai pa evangelist Efrase se Yesu Kristo ka kire suafo no se wo ntwen wo Jerusalem kosi se bo hye no beba won so enti okoye no osoma honhon kronkron no e ma na ba won so na anoho ba obo wo mun se mun saka nyame honhon na wo benya tumi na sa tumi na mbenya no kire dwumadi o mu de bedie mo de beka masempa no Jerusalem Judea Samaria e de akopma sase ano no ha enti na che honhon kronkron tumi na so de bre won no na no botae ne se o de beka nyame asem no enti bra Peter enipa dwumu ya onkesene no osori gina kasa ase we ni ne odifo Joel ka ho asem se na edi akiri no meye sei enti eno no de bie ki no emaye na wotwe a etwa mu no enti wo kire mu se Peter nkire mu no wo ka bibi anase Joel ka bibi fa nkaye no se wo ka nkaye a won saka on kronkron na fe na no okogu aba afred dom aba Kristo nchen enti ye fresa afo no nkaye a enye yi na mbra won free won dwumadie na se di kwa akiri no eno akiri na wona wo frɛ won no yɛbɛtumi afrɛ mo so ɔmo yɛ nkae na ɔkyerɛ sɛ nkae no nso ɔbɛma ɔmo tumi ama ɔmo de awie otwa adwuma no nti Peter no ma no asuafoɔ no ebu aba no nti nsuo edi ka atɔ no yɛ asusɔ ɛno ne yɛde dua deɛ akuafoɔ no bɛtema sɛ yie mɔmɔ na kate no na asusɔ no yɛde dua deɛ no wie a na brampo nsuo no atɔ ne yɛde atwa ɛti ɔkyerɛ sɛ brampo nsuo no nso bɛtɔ na wankyerɛ da pɔtɛn abrampo nsuo no bɛtɔ na emu ɔmaa yɛ nsɛnkyerɛnne bi sɛ maka mu dodo a mudi akyire no Acts chapter 2 verse 19 to 21 no ɔkyerɛ yɛn sɛ yɛbɛhu mogya engusie kumoo ɛne yɛfrɛ ne sɛn owia no nso bɛduru sum ɛna bosome nso bɛyɛ sɛ mogya ɔsram no nso bɛyɛ sɛ emogya ɛno na ɔkaa no wɔ Acts chapter 2 verse 19 to 21 no ɛno na evangelist yi videos de kyerɛ yɛn sɛ as watchmen of Zion sɛ yɛ very observant a saa deɛ no asi ɛti ne kyɛ Nyankopɔn afiri ase a ɔhwie ne honhom a ɛdi akyire no ɛde ma no ma sɛ de bɛyɛ a ɔbɛwie otwa adwuma no na anya bia yɛbɛtwa wabrɛ yɛbɛtwa waka ho anaasɛ yɛbɛtwa na wo deɛ yɛbɛgya wɔ akyire ɛnɛ yɛba bɛtoa so na ɛnam yɛtoa so with Trump's grace period aseɛ ɛkyerɛ sɛn wɛ evangelist wo deɛ yɛkɔ no hyehyɛhyɛ na yɛhyɛ da ni brɛ saa Trump grace ɛgyina hɔ ma deɛ
good the Trump grace period when they come my introduction nada
that's right
I know ye Revelation chapter 18 verse 1 to 3
that's right
I know na last week yetimi na ofre 3 a over 4 ofre 4 ko 5 na verse 4 no above 4 by 9 no omukra asase emframa 9 ano no omo de djuma bi wo ho
okay
na no na yato din the Trump grace period
okay
na edusua no sha se yakɔ animu a ahwefo ne yetifo no bɛte ase ne enti yato edusua no din sa
that's right
menya sa akwanya so na yensa na yaboafo no ase pa yi wo mo a eboa yen money transfer 1 Ghana 2 Ghana 10 Ghana ebia mpacho mintim bomudin memmo wie na yebre na sa tinyakopon hia bebre yeda mo ase monko so ara akaka kra bi na dwumadie no ye dia kogu na ewie adwuma
that's right
fine ono say edi semte do nwotwe chechemo ye na Revelation 18:4 osemeti eni fufuru bi efri osoro etiem eka se meman mumpimfi
mumfiri ne mumfi na mo anya ne ne boni ni bi na mo anya na so twen ni bi
eno ye chechemo nan ebrebe ene ye kasa asem
that's right
ono say chechemo edi kan mienu miensa no ene ne braponsuo no a last week ne ye kama asem
that's right
tim braponsuo bremu no ene ye kasa asem se meman mumfi ne mumra sa kasa no nipa kro mienu ena ye kasa akire wo no
okay
na obaako eye de ono no wo asem no ho nimdie dada wo se obofo no a wo ba wo tichemo baako no 18:1 ono na hodin ena ehira asase no so ena mechem se no ye the latter ne ye nyankopon nkonkron tumi e de ka asempa no
that's right
tino eno no wo mo a wo mokuta onyankopon emra nsem du Yesu Kristo didie ene ahotefo de okanso ni ahotefo bo aseto no ene Kristo Yesu ho adanse no wo mo ena saa ene no ebetru omumu epia bonten
okay wo mu na be frɛ
saa
enti be che mu mfiri mu no enye within omo ne mo frɛ ni papi bi
se ono no onhwe ase enti ontimi nka nkyere no yonko a ohwe ase se ye ekɔ enti okanso ono gira nkyɛn ene o se mu mfiri ni mu empie
that's right
enti ono no nhwe ase enti no ene no a eka se memman mumfiri mu mra no ho se sa ene no enhye dem free asase nso
okay
fi se Second Chronicles 7:40 o se memman ya yebo medin efra wom onyankopon efra ni ma saa fo na o ka se mo pietu ni mu mra no omo ye nyankopon ma e won sapa hoduo mu se ye kwasi ada se ye buda som se ye kremosum de omo asu nyina no omo nyina ka sa memman no eho
okay
e na ye efra wo no enti bofo no a wo bai wo tichemo adi kan mienu miensa no ono na ekenyan akuru adi kan na wo mam ho nimde se no wiase no ekwa na wieye
okay
na ebede no mo hu se ekwa wieye efiri enkyeremo anase Bible nti ase ombenya o verse 1 2 3 no
okay
braponsion no ba ebi o madwunu e mo moti atwenase
that's right
enti mo be hye saa oja moja ne musie kumone nso o mo be hye owia na durusum no ni osame na ye ko se moja no o mo be hu saa de no no mo agye tum se wei aye nyankopon bo
hye
very good no mo do ho be mo nyankopon se nyankopon de aduro de yesra wo ye bre ho ase hwe ho mu ye so ne bi adwuma nti twara sama saafo no na be tip saabofo nani na afi wo mo akasa
o de fisi ma frese ko nyanim free ne mumfi
pepe efise wo mbete chichemo to so enum no asepe enum ti na o kan se mumfi ne mumfi efise chichemo num no o se efise ne boni aiden ato abeduru soro na bible ka sa apere je se yebetwi wi ase aso
that's right
enti no ehu abowo no wo so bia ti se de Jonah ye ka cha ne se nini wa wi ya ba no enti saafo no be hu se bia se wi ya ba enti na mo de ne kase na ahoden e ka se me mai mumfi fi ne mu emra
me by evangelist obeto aso na mamensra adofo a ehwe dwumadie se na wotwetwem ne ba ye bo nsori makomakom yensa din se mo betaya ye bo Presbyterian ye bo Catholic and ye bo SDA e de church yensa mu se de be ya emu ebeda ho na se wutie se de evangelist echirim na ba bia wo frɛ se me man mum free ne mumfi no wadi ka ma ya te ase se conspiracy bi koso se ye besese nyankopɔn ho beda no afri memeneda e de akokosiada ye hwɛ hu videos bebree ye hu Protestantism and as Protestants wo nyina do makodom Roman asafo no na body krata bi e friend Laudato Si akọ UN amamagye atomu a enu so di adanse se nyankopɔn ho meda wo de ahye no ho so se ono ne obaade no enipa e bon homodin bia se obeyi afri ho no do no di enipa hyehye asia na mu entintiemu kese no eno so ka ho bi se me man mu free ne mu free nipa hyehye mu na mu medi nyankopɔn akwantempɔn no eso evangelist to so no.
Thank you. Enti no everybody ena santiemu no ba.
That's right.
Everybody ena Bible ehwe ase. Ewo ehwo a chechemo miensa no ba bi o kan se oni amanaman anu na dwama babo funsan
bi. That's right.
Edu sa abre no a ewo se ehunu se ampa Bible ahwe ase. Na enu no eba everybody ye be ma video di kan pe aba.
Amanaman anu na dwama babo funsan na che omo agye ne nhyehyɛ na tum.
Enu ni asem no ti video di kan pe mra na ye fan kire asem mu.
Okay, I had the Sabi Yatumra and Yatrisi. Into video number 1 production. Say ready at Moon Romain.
Today, the Paris Agreement on climate change enters into force. It is a historic day for people and the planet. All the world's nations have agreed to act to limit global temperature rise. All countries have pledged to strengthen resilience to the changes that are coming. The road to Paris was long. Over the course of many years, a growing chorus of scientists, civil society groups, and business leaders demanded action. In Paris, their governments responded. The United Nations has played a critical role in raising awareness and mobilizing action on climate change.
Adofno yesan emama kwaba bio yakwakotie former General Secretary of the United Nations Ban Ki-moon Evangelist ejina homade.
One say ne kasa mu no or say all nations have agreed. That's all right. Nations
when you be my country Ghana we are sure man
nyina je atomo say ye bebo ma yate awiem hye no ye bete so sa mu a ya je atom say ye bete so no eno na last week me kire mo say Pope Francis any a Christopher edi krata akoye say yemfa kwasha dansi ho na ma machine bia nya dwuma fide bia nya dwuma mo bia nya dwuma say be ya enwusie ni ayi nipa nwuma di a ya di wasase so no edu kwasha da bia na se so te a ebeboa ma ohye no so enso ate okay enti sa kwan so ena won defa ena yesan kire mo say ayi production that to screen so say Kane Pope Benedict the 16th. What the crata be by a chirase, Yakase, Bible Casa Kai, who made a nation in Conqueror, not a year quasiada.
Name Yamemenda.
Don't bring that one. And watching on Johnson, Yabo Cardinal O'Malley. Also can say, Yakasa quasiada, a year Christosum Ashan so dear, the mark of Christianity, of a Christian. And a Pope Francis or Tisway, or also I can say a Duke quasiada, a sign, a Ashan so dear.
Okay.
And I mean, Chilmo has said, Bible, my unconscious said, I hear what Tracum, a person, I am conscious one in a Roman Empire, and no nip or can say, I hear also nine, your best son, Yankopon, as some day Homeda, and a Roman Catholic, a bedia dancer say, a drear swan, and a disagreement.
That's right, and it's a video.
And no more Chilmo said, Quasian a mark. ɛno na UN General Secretary ka sɛ wiase ama nyinaa gye ato mo sɛ yɛbɛdi saa mark no so.
Okay.
Because wogye to mo sɛ Paris Agreement no wobɛboa me ate so a because ɛdasom no ɛhyɛm saa na ɔmo ayɛ no nti no wokɔfa document ne ba ha last week yɛbɛsan de aba ibiri ɛsɛ mu wobia document no pɔtɛn wɔ mo sɛ yɛatwerɛ sɛ Kwasi Adahome na mmom yɛatwerɛ sɛ yɛnte ɔhyew so yɛnte awusie ne saa nneɛma so wogye hu saa deɛ no pa a ɛhyɛm ɛna meka sɛ yɛ article 2 clause 1 ɛhɔ na saa asɛm no ɛhyɛ yɛka letter bi wɔ ha last week sɛ UN na de bae na date ne yɛ 18th August 2020 na ɛno yɛbɛwie program no ɛna yɛka yɛn ti amɔ so ɛyɛ panin bi kɔ Methodist asɔre wɔ kuma se ɔka se yɛba yɛsi suma no na ɔde nkrasɛm maa bi yɛka wie a just the first 2 paragraphs yɛka wie pɛ mɛ de panin ne nkrasɛm na to dwa.
Okay. 18th August 2020.
Yes.
Climate action. Ɛsɛ dɔn nana wɔbɔ wɔn bɛni kɔkɔ sɛ yɛsɛ road map na wɔn famra wɔn mɔden na so wɔkɔ a wɔn nkɔgye ntum sɛ nyame ebufu no bi bɛ kan yɛ. Okay. Ɔsɛ late last week UNFCCC Executive Secretary Patricia Espinosa sent out a letter to all 197 parties in the Paris Agreement. Urging them to send their National Climate Action Plan at least 9 to 12 months ahead of the COP26 summit, which is set to take place in Glasgow next year. Also, nationally determined contributions NDCs are ambitious emissions reduction and climate adoption plan.
Entino sa brofo ya wanwen dia bay. So they are 197 countries.
That's right.
Ghana come. Enti esi oman bia emfa ne prime chese na se de wa hire hire no konfamra. Enti so oman be de kwa ontro mo se Kwasi Adahome humi o. Obetro mo se musie ne enwuma a esi yente so no meti so sei
waso na pawe ne ye befa so a ye nso ye beboa ma eso ate
very good ebe no so a you and the beba se afa de wo mu ni afa ne be bie so a kire ye eye anamo na mo to step by step
ma aman akanifo nyina hunu se saa boa no se wo sane mu ade wo mu no ba ko mu a ehu se tie Nyankopon
yes na papa no ko Methodist no o se men kan kire ziefo se saa leta we omomodin ni akiri no mo kwa aban ho emfa leta nkoja aban se aban da chi bia se wo de leta wanyi ano e de kwa na se wo fa nko na wo de be kode a ene yeserew trohwem se Nyankopon memenda no ye be hu me so Ghana ha na no me kai presby ya so pene de kasa yo me se mpacho Methodist o frame ka kire me se me mo ezefo amade no mo kodi sa adwuma no ma no
Pastor Anthony Melchizedek o chiami anyu asem council na waso mu a
enti no you and the ni enti almost say you can SDGs 17 sa global goals no the total 5 the total 13 and na eba nkomshim
okay
the total no na ye member name ma sa gender
equality no that's right
no but 13 no and ekuta climate
change that's right
climate change no mo dey Nyankopon hu me dan sasae no akɔhye
that's right
ɛna number 5 no so ne ɔmo ɛhɔ no so no mo de aware ne de akɔhye ebi nsi wiase aba kɔsɛm da ti yɛ kam kom kya se wo hwɛ ne sa pɛpɛpɛ Yesu kan se de yɛ wɔ lot bread se de yɛ wɔ no wa bread so lot bread so ɔmo se sa aware ne so no wa bread so ɔmo kutia Nyankopon
that's right
ɛno bi na ɛkɔ so pɛpɛpɛ yi so na ɛbra Ban Ki-moon can say on this day the Paris Agreement of climate change enters into force ɔkaayɛ no ne nansa chi America about to be by wiase mesesai
that's right
and na dey Trump adom no ebreye no enti we dey kayenko videos kakra bi so 2 to 5 ne yanko so na afi ya kwa
chase o ma dwen se o mo de ba be di dwuma pe e na America wie na bato no e na Donald Trump e be ye president yanko video a e to so ne hwe de Donald Trump e ye videos 6 to 5 videos 5 2 to 5, sorry. Master production on a Romain.
I am fighting every day for the great people of this country. Therefore, in order to fulfill my solemn duty to protect America and its citizens, the United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord Thank you. Thank you. But begin negotiations to re-enter either the Paris Accord or in really entirely new transaction on terms that are fair to the United States, its businesses, its workers, its people, its taxpayers. So we're getting out, but we will start to negotiate, and we will see if we can make a deal that's fair. And if we can, that's great. And if we can't, that's fine. As president, I can put no other consideration before the well-being of American citizens.
I solemnly swear
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
I have the immense privilege of addressing you today as the elected leader of a nation that prizes liberty, independence, and self-government above all. The United States, after having spent over $2.5 trillion since my election to completely rebuild our great military, is also by far the world's most powerful nation. Hopefully, it will never have to use this power. Looking around and all over this large, magnificent planet, the truth is plain to see. If you want freedom, take pride in your country. If you want democracy, hold on to your sovereignty. And if you want peace, love your nation. Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first. The future does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots. The future belongs to sovereign and independent nations who protect their citizens, respect their neighbors, and honor the differences that make each country special and unique.
Adolf no yesan emmo kwa babiu Donald Trump akasa yenko jinchemu from Evangelist Joseph Anan.
Thank you. I will say from the first video, now 2016 4th November.
That's right.
And you know, Okan said the Paris Agreement enters into force. Now, I said we are seeing now. If it's done, can you shall see the woman me shall say this.
That's right.
Now, Okan no
banki mu kan no
Okan pepe and Ninansa and a Trump obey a mampani war America yet Obama and Modim kunim. To a no Okan say or bar obey American film. What you brought for or say United States will withdraw. Withdraw not just all mudada. Now, all you know film.
That's right.
And Okan will begin renegotiations to re-enter. And to a movie as I say, baby, Babu can say, a man in the Joma Babu Fonsan. On what I say, a crown so one.
That's right.
So, and you know, some in consent of honor, yet mean American come. So we American film.
That's right.
And you know, American quite every move. We are saying, you know, the issue
is leaving no one behind.
Yes. And you say the train said, America best and so by. Then say, we are seeing the unknown the Joma Babu Fonsan. And America enya enum yano sabre no enya di tem se mmai we dey
moon free wow
fi se America so ban sampe ye nyina ye ho aka entina babo de ka so se amanyina anum na dwama babo fo nsa no
enti twase enkomhye ne ye amanyina
yes yes
amany bi
ye nyama ni bi enti ba kokura firi mu enkomhye ne enye ma tisi ye nyani nyina pepepe
and America so ye key
America yes afoa on say or call you and or do a matem or just so pass on here the woman now I say wise leaders just say any can form what you be or money or mudu my who can.
That's right.
And was it so open as on J. Emma Maya men found whom no we are saying men or say many globalist one more
we are saying colonel dear
yes was this we are saying Kabuma Mamono or no on American cohort. And the Yaka Wobo my Pessia or the American cohort ye.
Okay.
And the infant 90 a broad man is how to say so help me God Yanko Pomoa not to America son. A year 20th January 2017.
That's right.
Say or 20 90 Donald Trump didn't Nancy or say when Bias won't call.
What's in a console?
Yes. And in the Kuan Koyaninti.
Ama implementation and so
yes and until we are so a copy kuna kuni pane him enti ego so ayesa no na Nyankopon e ma se etimi hunu se Nyankopon amaye adombre.
That's right.
Tina ya to den say Trump adombre a ode amaye ni fi say Trump free so a bibia betimi esi.
Okay.
Na ebesi so ye ko enim kakra won say
so ba ko enim bet misro we no me pese ye co speed bebre because it wasn't as no ba wabra Yesu Kristo kan say o be say Jerusalem no bo won kokko oman no pray mo makoma no wonim se ebeka enenso ama ose ye na ba
yes
obi a no ayete se bodam ni e ba Jerusalem krum be bo kru no kokko se go unto Jerusalem no munim ni pakra wo ye
ampa
en wo yirai still ni pray mo makoma ko iso se ye na ba wonyi ni se Nyankopon ahye dem ma ya kwanya bi se na be ya ni ba ye ho so
sabe
fe ye free Babylon
sabe be penalty entin sabria akwanya na aba no Trump oda so ti konya so a won pese odi America ba ko ka wiase ho because afia twam ye e no ko kan sa asem.
That's right.
Sanye yare ba ya nka busum ye mu edi na edunu enum na 25 September ko omosan ko biem
e wo Poland
wo po na mo ko New York
okay
yes na COVID ninti e no mo sa afi we no mo to ahyeda
he enti ko ye bi bua ye
o bua ye bebrebe na abakosem besi ne ho so sɛdeɛ saa dom ya pie Israel fo brɛ so Kristo ka kyerɛ sɛ me wɔ anwa foforo bi a wɔn mfiri ban mu na twase wɔm na mede wɔm dɛn
ɛbamu na wɔnya ɔwɛmfo baako
pɛpɛpɛ ɛno ne saa nkyɛ mu no a sɛ esi wɔ brɛ so yi me man mu mfiri ne mu ɛmmra ebio Matthew 8:11 to 12 Kristo ka kyerɛ Israel fo no sɛ wɔn so banti ahɔ wɔ bɛfiri apueyɛ ɛne akɔyɛ atifi ɛne anafo aba abetena ahini no na ahini mu mankasa de be dey
ye beto mo agu
sapepepe enti no wo mu Nyankopon ni nkrasami ama wo no na ase omo yo ho bibibisi e be kan se ye nka no botru bodwo ye safo
ase ye ka se ye nka
Nyankopon nkasa wo kwan obefa so be mana asem apia bonten.
That's right.
Na abontesefo no ye bi man mo fefe ne momra no o mbeba abetu Israel for se ne e betu Israel for egu ye no Ephesians 3:6 se ne Paul kan no
iti wo man kom ye Israel by birth
but yes
ana se wo man kan no maji Yesu Kristo edum kura sa ankranse no mo anka
no
mom ye pese minkumnya no obi wo mafiri ho
very good
mo de ahoho na agye adie no aba bishim
na said the insori binum di ewa wo mo se omo na mo prasa ankranse no na ye nti so omo ka no enkranse Nyankopon omo a omo ka ma no.
That's right.
Na saafo no a omo kuta asempa no omo pese omo ka no Nyankopon yi omo nyina efiri ho.
Wow.
Na omo efiri abonten ba no wodom abeduaduam saa na enkomhye no etie.
Okay.
Enti me man mo firi mo mra no ye brei mu ene wo se ye pai na ye ka saa asem no. Na ebra Nyankopon ade aman se fa ka saa asem no. Na biribi fofo so koso osumase.
Okay.
E say Trump kan say oyi America firi mu no. America ne kuta tumi. Enkomhye ne kire say America bamu a ono na ohumi tumi egu mu na fe omo akasa sa otwease. E ho ne ye be hyemra wontimi nto no. Gis America bamu ansa na sa enkomhye ne abam. Enti me pese me ko bebre but me kire de ekoso sei no e o se tumi ekuta America no UN ene Christopher no omo koje no omo de hye omo mra eno na dan ye kan ho asem se nyabra ye yetimi nyabra ntese but ahwefo ene etiefo mon kan Daniel 11 every 31 be 36 san komhye no atwamu na ebesesi ne ho so esi ne ho so e wo every verse 40 e ma verse 45 ye kan king of the north king of the south edru ho no a America to me no United Nations baje Rome ebaje na fe omo de ahyemra nti e be ka America bam na kan ye ka America bam no me kire mo se ya ye di videos aka no ye di videos be 6 to 9 better sa na ne party ase yi
Evangelist any me koso
bebre videos better me
Mr. Production say video 6 to 9 Mr. na moya kradwa Roma.
Today I'm appealing for leadership from politicians, from business and scientists, and from the public everywhere. We have the tools to make our actions effective. What we still lack, even after the Paris Agreement, is the leadership and the ambition to do what is needed. And what makes all of this even more disturbing is that we were warned. Scientists have been telling us for decades, over and over again. And far too many leaders have refused to listen. And far too few have acted with the vision the science demands. And we see the results. In some situations, they are approaching scientists' worst-case scenarios. The world's richest nations are the most responsible for the climate crisis, yet the effects are being felt first and worst by the poorest nations and the most vulnerable peoples and communities.
Silence and inaction are not permissible. They're inexcusable. Any person of conscience, regardless of their religious or partisan beliefs, should be able to agree that violence against any person in any form is intolerable. No one no one should be killed, tortured, assaulted, harassed because of who they are. And to those who try to excuse this kind of discrimination in the name of culture, I say prejudice is prejudice is prejudice, inhumanity is inhumanity. It is wrong no matter what. There is no justification. And the change I see, and I think, Tom, you know this, the change I see from when I was chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee and I'd raise the issue of the barbaric nature of the laws in a country, I would be told I was violating cultural norms, whether it was the State Department or other elected officials would say, that is a different culture. There is no justification in any circumstances to deal with people in an inhumane way. None, none, none. Not religious, not culture, not anything, not history, period. While we're standing around not doing much, the rest of the world is moving ahead. They're moving ahead while other folks are tweeting. They are moving. China is the greatest emitter of pollution of any country in the world. Now, the first thing I would do the day one as president, I'd rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, which we, Barack and I, put together. And that climate accord, there's a provision we have in there that says that we're going to have to continue to up the ante, make higher and higher standards. And one of the first things I would do, I would call an international conference in the United States of America with all these folks and say, here's the deal. We have to all increase. We got to up our ante here and what we're prepared to do.
Oil prices are down, and the reason? President Trump fired his national security advisor, John Bolton. The news came a few hours ago. Now, Bolton was a strong advocate of Donald Trump's administration's maximum pressure campaign against Iran. His surprise exit prompted speculation the chance of any military action there was decreased. Brent came under pressure almost immediately after the president tweeted that he asked Bolton to resign. Look at the graph. It really is quite clear if you marry it up to the time of the tweet. Bolton tweeted a different version of events saying, I offered to resign last night. And President Trump said, let's talk about it tomorrow. Speaking at the White House a few moments ago, the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, admitted John Bolton did not always see eye to eye with colleagues.
That's right.
Adofno, yesama mwakwa babio. Mide minyaya nka mifiri a bibituma. Namde nso gumetifi no akotena circle. Nanka mitwado. Se saa na ye kan nipa bitia. Bet arefo se wenu nyina ekoso. Asofo ne adifo binom a wom no mse yes nyame asoma won wonhunu wonte. Evangelist Arago.
Yes. Obede manage mu. Na enti ama manage ne say. Bible no nipa nyini. Ebitimi tuesika hwe airtime de body ebitimi tuesika ko tran TV so tran radio so di Bible atem. Oh. enti me say enkom hye esisu say ya e ma manage keke ensa no na Bible say nyaka da bia me na mabo sa na imedi ma sama Yakobon.
That's right.
Papa ne kire say emra ne hye biara wo se yenya no ye de gwa
Antonio Guterres, our current UN Secretary General.
Wo se emra wo se hye ya hye mra nyina na de aka ye political will aka amanyo to me ai de be hyemra no eno na hye enkuta ye enti no wiase se nyina no amanyofo omo na to me kuta wo no
enti wo mo twetwe wo na ase no.
Yes,
omo nyantem
na okasa no de hwan o de America e bi se enkro no ye nyina ya sai en America pe na yi no hwafiri
e benim no wura
sanity oh enu ti na oka se ye obi bie bi na aka to me enti na Bible se kire se America na ehumi egu abo no na afi o mutim kasa ti so twanse ti America ma ya emre bi no wo metimi ahye na video to so mi no Joe Biden.
That's right.
On as I say no on it
America money
say you to Obama one. Na no okasafa e mani ma e ware ni mema ni mema no okasafa no famdi. Say edu be o sha say no okasabo ko bedu me na fun say na kuma apeja modernization bo say no way. O say osum biere ni ho enchekire biere ni ho amamra biere ni ho e say sisi ade no kwan. No way on pene.
Na say Christos no opem da kuti.
Esesa. O say na when na opre o mampani edi no.
Tu be mampani a.
Ana ni video to so mienu no. Ono kan se ono na aba no ye tuma no a day 1 brofo kan ani.
Day di kan no a.
Day di kan no nya ye ni se konya so
climate accord no.
Sa da no. O de America kwaji atu. No so de America ko wi a. Obe meeting kese o America. Obe fra man nyina se ebumra. Na fa ade ni mfanye djuma.
That's right.
Tono de wa tu na mu tu dada. Wa kan de oba obeye. Na ye no mu kase aka 51 days ne beto about America. Na se sa bato no nyankopon enti me mpa ebo mami na se omo ita be fero se papa be di ade a e firi se da na me shefu fo sa
na me so be bompa ye different me so say ye menya go for marriage go be ma no mu ye mo bo na dombre no endos ma
baby Bible no omo so papa bo ache
iba show sa wo hwe nia e koso ni nyina sebe akoye te se mo nyina ko meeting na yese mo mfa nsu nsi so na mu nkuma chechede ntutu no akoko gina ho no ma ba ho mi so obesu
Aye.
Obesu. Because when most say omo de homeda eye djuma. Say 7-day Yeshua Disciple Ministries, 7-day Baptist Church, 7-day Adventist Church. Omo na ye kese. Omo nim say niam we num nyina e koso ye really be from their own Sabbath school.
Yes.
I didn't know why e din. Omo mfa ene kese e mo dene. E mo wi ase kokko say munwa ne nyam kran kwa.
Abraham ne ka se ne ba se nyam be kire abo de be bo afori ama no. Tene mo de ye nkoso na abetire.
Okay.
Na ebra about to tell some echoes America. Na ye boasi e beyi Trump e firi so ni anya obi a obeba no abehye mrama wiase nyina di so no. Ni ma bi e ekoso. Na fe ye bekin kakra ta kakra.
Okay.
Na production emfa me the picture bia to screen so production emfa to so na fe ye hwa de. Eja konkru po Francis ni okuta homa bi e na production dia to screen so no.
Okay.
Homa no yenso ye die ni de okuta no enu ani.
Jubilee for the Earth.
Yes.
2020 celebration guide. Season of creation.
Yes. Yeah, pet Trump etuna de so no. De omode benim pacho wo de be page 9. My highlight bibi kakra bi wo ho. Na hwamane. Yes.
Or say, when one part of the earth community is stressed,
yes,
every part is affected.
Yes, asase ye wiase se ni fa ba bi to chima.
That's right.
Yes. What
Okay. Or say, in 2020, the novel coronavirus pandemic demonstrated this reality on a global scale.
Very good.
While the experience of living with the COVID-19 outbreak points back to this need to maintain justice, the lessons that we learn may point us towards the need for a jubilee and motivate us to restore balance to the very system that sustain life.
Thank you. And you want to say, or the yari yabe, Eddie Yem, influence DSA, said the coronavirus never ya as see son of Yasi House at Yentino, or how we banana say a swan. Men can say me quan de me take one of my swan.
Okay.
A kayina for Francis in ye. And yet the after way, or no, dear son, 2020, what dear son was said. Ye de ji wiase no efri yade ni ohawa aba any dear Babanian, yet the few in Asia say, Begin film.
What about you, Uncle Pong or Badi and Mratrin? Niam Pinamias and Yapino. Yeah, dear, hoarding a Julius Nesio.
Oh, yeah, to also quite the next, the next page.
Okay.
Page 10, Mammy.
Okay, page 10. What highlighting number 2? The latest IPCC report highlights that only with rapid and far-reaching transitions in the world economy on a scale and at a rate without historical precedent can the 1.5C limit be achieved.
Very good. Remember, one will say, or say, Paris Agreement, baby, yes, baby, you do know, I'll say you two American be a to be done.
That's right.
Say, Baya, Susudia, no, and penny for the ashes, I can't say, Baya, you bet me a broom.
That's right.
And you know, a free with 2020, what the Embrago do ever come. I about boy, yes, and maybe I said to Sam Cano, Yetmia, co pimps as to the other 10, and son of Yassi.
Okay.
And you know, we can't have a back. It
is therefore a time to reconcile ourselves with creation through concrete repentance and urgent action.
I don't know. And you know, say yes, such a agent. Namfe, ye a body enya nkabom.
The season of creation 2020 will also be an important moment for the Christian family.
Very good.
To raise a united voice for rapid and radical ambitious action ahead of the 26th annual United Nations Conference of the Parties.
Thank you.
That's called. To address the climate crisis. COP26 is particularly significant.
Thank you very much. I forgot page 12. Yeah, my highlight page 12 for baby.
Okay, page 12.
Yeah, my highlight.
I'll say, in your wisdom, you granted a Sabbath, a blessed time to rest in gratitude for all.
Very good. Or say on Yankupon sermon or my homida. Say young pan humi. Some homida now or more chese.
Oh, okay.
And no fashion no book no diaban. Nabuku enye population kwa ekuta Christopher nyina.
Okay.
What sort of churches will be? Na mamia kan omo de nikito because next week Messiah kan bi.
Okay.
We no yen kan bebre ye be kan de nikito bi pe the second paragraph pe eno ye from World Council of Churches.
Okay. World Council of Churches.
Yes.
Okay, I'll say the theme for the 2020 season of creation is Jubilee for the Earth.
Yes.
And the new guide provides creative ways for WCC member churches and all people of goodwill to participate in the season of creation liturgical season, which is held annually between 1st September and 4th October.
What Council of Churches? Say I heard we are singing Nara sorry and Kabon Crew any.
Okay.
I never patcho me boss on near a more boom for every say a queer Yakodom or you know can't be. Because that's only be a main kind of own nation be.
Okay.
And now we are dear to say Kratana Professor Diaban. One also said the Edisusa a year I figure 2020. They could see after by 2021 on which I feel about question was said, ye dear fashion.
Okay.
Now, a fashion your more share. Crata be about Bonte only by last week. Then no why 52 Sundays to rescue creation. Oben be a mahalata and quite brenty.
Okay.
I can't be doing
it. The Bishop of Salisbury, the retired Reverend Nicholas Horton, has described the Climate Sunday initiative launched this weekend as a brilliant resource to help parishes reach the target of zero emission by 2030 and campaign for more government action.
Very good.
The Climate Sunday initiative was announced in June News, that's 12th June, by a coalition of churches and charities calling for more action on global warming. The Sunday, 6th September, is the first in a year in which individual churches are encouraged to choose their own creation Sunday. Wow.
And you know, way a year. Said that also 5th September 2020.
That's right.
Bisa member down sorry na say. On by we are says the minister by 83. opani obuje ene o maka ne de Ghana here na o nyina tie di o ho adanse.
That's right.
On ba wiase di me da so ne ba wiase. Da be no mo ate say so be 700.
Akon ho bom se.
Akon ho bom se. Ye yi kwese de si
wo se osomda.
Osomda. Fi say ye no ne de aboa ye de bo ade bo ho ban. Bi sa me da so ne say da be no mo ate say asan we say. Na say ene omo ate so omo ye ho dai.
Die no mo ye fa.
That's the question. Any asem bisa omo to aso famra. Ye nwie document ye ba na ba. Ye de me de picture bi so ato so no so. Production de be ma wo no.
Okay.
Na eno eye afahye na ombe die no. Eho program ankasa. Offend the action plan to roll out Laudato Si. Now, send a mechano a May 24th, 2020 to May 24th, 2021.
Okay.
Now, where Pope Francis na kuchini mfonyi ene daso
Laudato Si no so krata e free Vatican ko UN almost eje ene SDG 17 nyina tumo prekope. Ndi e krata e da UN. Okay.
Now we no
Number 3.
Yes.
Laudato Si schools.
Yes.
Schools embarking on a 7-year journey towards integral ecology.
The omochire ni a free afi we busu me to so num. They go see afi e be community busu me to so num from May 2020 to May 2021. Schools e wo wi ase nyinara. Ye be san ahihye nkola na dwen. Nesu ke be ka ho asem. Be me ka kire won. Me maka ho also maka ho se wo ba ko school nko ade a ene ne de be de ba because ye de Laudato Si ne be rescue bie mo ne asesa ye nkola adwene se be ya de mpanifo de ba no wo be gi atom
se kwasi ada ne osomda
e ka ho bi afi hwe number 4 no
number 4 say Laudato Si universities.
Yes.
Universities and colleges embarking on a 7-year journey towards integral ecology.
Yes. Oh, say you know mo ka 7 years.
That's right.
Schools no de no every kg efa primary no ma ba JHS ne SS omo no ombeji bi ansa na omo de akofan university ni colleges.
That's right.
Na de omo ye ne say a free afiwe de ko si afi beba no na kwose da so ho hyehye ye ne climate change nyina no
na krase
no mo de ayedwuma e take you off say the 2021 e kono de school bia be di so enti free sabre ko de ye di wera so
they are in hurry to implement it.
See eba afi hwe article 7
Laudato Si religious orders.
Very
wow. Religious orders provinces embarking on a 7-year journey towards integral ecology.
Sir, enti omo the free schools universities afi say religious orders nsapo hodum say SDA Christo asafo.
So this is the roadmap.
Where road
for the implementation?
Me na me ka kire sir enu na churches here wo UK 700 ka ho bom say dey e hye na ya ma pressure sir enti no omo kan say mpacho ko the next page mahalachi baby o kan say we intend
to begin in early 2021.
Very good.
By inviting a certain number of the above institutions to begin their 7-year journey of integral ecology in the spirit of Laudato Si.
Medase, we intend to begin when? Early 2021 and not early 2021. Because you be to na trap idea so November.
Omo bomba yi say be to.
Ye be to no.
Me so me ya come to say me.
E say ise no mo de nam no. Say you to na trap idea so a enye yi.
Wow.
Say na come say tie. Say you to na trap idea so.
Be so omo boss say o winning ya from day one.
Enti kwen bia be fa so be Donald Trump ade no so de say ye nyina ti wiase.
Okay.
Me anka say makase Donald Trump no betum enye won tina me ka ya che.
Okay.
Now after wo de ye mo video saka no na ye mfa nkere ye se mu kakra because some say early 2021 we will know how early that could be.
Okay. Production Mr. Mwana ye ni break. Videos 10 to 11. Okay, Mr. Videos 12 to 14.
Yes,
Mr. Muro and MIA.
Without US leadership and participation, there will be no winners from this climate crisis. We will all become losers.
The world.
A voting issue. Climate has not yet been that voting issue. In 2016, when President Trump was elected, the turnout overall was a 20-year low. 55.6%. And the youth turnout, the people who should be the most committed to being involved in this and changing it, the turnout was 19%. That doesn't cut it. So if we're going to win this battle, if we're going to win back the future, People have got to go out and vote and hold their politicians accountable. The minute some of those people in Congress begin to lose because they're not proactively dealing with the environment, that's when you're going to see a massive shift in this country.
If Joe Biden...
Challenges we've ever faced. I've been involved in the climate change issue for, 35 years, 40 years. I started working on acid rain in the 1980s, and we solved the problem, actually. You don't hear about it today. We did it with a cap and trade, global marketplace solution. And then when I went to the United States Senate, I was privileged to make that part of the Clean Air Act, and we moved to a national basis. And many of us, Al Gore, whom you know well from his journeys on this road, a group of us in the Senate went to Rio in 1992. We were in Kyoto, 97. I led the Kyoto efforts on the floor of the Senate. We couldn't move anything because it was mandatory. It was frustrating. And then finally, with President Obama, we were able to break the paradigm. I went to Copenhagen. Copenhagen failed because China and the G77 opposed any kind of action. And when I became Secretary of State, I resolved, we're going to break this cycle. We have to break this cycle. And I went to China at the behest of the president and negotiated with President Xi, and we came up with an agreement to do a year's joint analysis of how we could work together going into Paris in order to break the paradigm and figure out what our emissions reductions would be so we could set an example to the world. We did it.
Adofune sama mo kwa babiu mahu se messages bebre aba but Mr. Mayama evangelist in we sit me wiem dia making some of the messages evangelist
say obankasa dia to say American ka ho a enyeyi.
That's right.
Sa video no by January this year banki mu na kasa.
That's right.
Obankasa aka say American ka ho a yebedi nti
kwa bia be fa so the America ka ho
eno no ena the okasa say John Kerry second bill or say a climate change in some year Paris agreement and no America just so there to aba send a bit free education a year campaign message or no a climate change or say no America for just so there to aba and Trump is on no one that many mo ka say near AC Ebrenti DC California DC Oregon DC Washington me come asem nyumre na bia
next week e come asem
yes
in the ever been chef region na asopa wo hinchara asem te adofum ye besre na nanso ye digumedi na bana wi edam yesre mo ye hia sika se de be ya ye betimi enya airtime ye betimi sustain ni atwakoso aboda wunu no de akira mansa free nipa free Babylon se de be ya nkwaje be nipa dia se odo Yesu Kristo ahoyie na support this worldly cause wo betimi donate sika bia wo betimi ama yen e wo ye MTN mobile money number no so number no ye 055 it was screen so me sounds waka a 055 35 74 933 BC subiu 055 35 74 933 say o send e dia beba na ye Joseph Anane evangelist a number na fa support programming na mo gidi say ye ho nyankopon o mo wasen mu enweda ne mo we shira obebre and what you know so question be our person will be concerning this program offer the same line and so ubenya yin ana me number esu afo de she ko fika carry 0244 13 23 68 that's 0244 13 23 68 offer and also ubenya me evangelist any potete eduasa and then na person can twa to
Bible ni o say asem biara ebefiri onyankopon enum beba no ena onipa mfa so entrance
ni
wanyankwa tine enua no ba bia we say dro no enche na Kristo aba wo ye bone a wo ye no kwa wo ye papa na empo abantwe aso a wakotua wo so ti de dredi mo me fa kokuduro na hobrase en nyankopon achi na be si yi
okay SD4 asem sebe abanyansa fo ebu ne be yen kana asem enti me amehwe me edi dwumadi eba wa kwan so no me din esuafo de hye Kofi Kakari na de nyankopon nam no so e kasa kire ye no the researcher of our time evangelist the prophet Joseph Anane nyame pa na wo hwese ne wabra bo no nsia ekobo no nso e wo home based TV e na RTV kai adi yemre be ko akwan so bio ebe me hunu no kore no na no kore no ayi adehye e ko nyakopon hyiram